What's your favorite thing to play with at the house?
Cookie.
What?
Cookie.
What's that?
My Spidey's last name.
Raegan and her personality. It's big. She is definitely a celebrity at school. She had on this super cute dress the other day, and all the kids were like, Raegan, your hair, your dress, we love your outfit, it's so cute. I'm Raechel, and my daughter Raegan has achondroplasia. There's 4 of us. My husband Ryan, our twins, Riker and Raegan, they're 5.5. I think as a parent, you just kind of want all of the information, and you don't even know what questions to ask initially because you don't know what's happening and you don't know what you don't know. So how can you know what questions to ask? By sharing our story, I hope that there's parents out there that will be able to feel a little bit more comfortable or not struggle as long as we did in finding that sense of belonging and understanding. We first had suspicion that Raegan had some form of dwarfism about 32 weeks into our pregnancy. Because I had twins, we were having more frequent ultrasounds, and the doctor that we had came in and he said, okay, well, your daughter's long bones are measuring 2 weeks behind, but you're not very tall, so she could just be little or she could have a form of dwarfism. So you'll find out when she's born. When they were born, having twins side by side, we could tell that Raegan had some different physical features, but we just didn't know what that meant. So we had people that were helping us figure out what was going on, but we knew there was something, we just didn't know what it was. And when we had the geneticist come in, he knew right away. Raegan had a little bit larger forehead, just a larger head overall. Her chest was much narrower, which made her belly look bigger. And then compared to my son, we could tell her arms and legs were smaller. I didn't know anything. I didn't know what achondroplasia meant. I just knew the words. I knew dwarfism, I knew achondroplasia. When we received Raegan's diagnosis, we had no idea the complexities that would be involved in her care. We didn't realize that she was going to be seeing multiple specialists for multiple things. She sees a pulmonologist, she at the time was seeing a cardiologist, a neurosurgeon, and an orthopedic. We added in an ear, nose, and throat specialist. So 5 doctors in the beginning. We just were not prepared for that at all. Since Raegan's been diagnosed with achondroplasia, we've had a few surgeries and a few other complications. She had the decompression surgery at 8 months old. And then at 1 year, they did ear tubes and tonsils and adenoids. And then after her initial sleep study, they determined that her sleep apnea was still pretty severe. So she sleeps with a BiPAP every night and follows up with a pulmonologist every 6 months. I wish someone had told me that we needed to be prepared for the complications, because I'm a planner, and being able to kind of see a bigger picture and know what to expect so that as those things happened, I wasn't so thrown. We had no idea what we were doing. We had no idea where to go. We struggled to find doctors, to understand the do's and don'ts, and to have a place to look and to hear other parents' experiences, I think is just so important, because it's already hard enough to discover that you're gonna have a child that's different, but when you have a child that's different and is from a community that's so small that it's hard to find that community, I think it's important to know that there's other people out there. It felt like we spent so much time playing catch up along the way that when we finally got to a space where we didn't have any doctor's appointments for 6 months, we didn't know what to do with ourselves. most of the preschools that I called, the first thing that I said was, I have a child that's a little person. She has achondroplasia and she's not walking yet. And up until, well, I think I called 4 schools, and all of those schools said, oh, no problem. She can stay in the infant room until she's walking, and then we'll move her to the preschool room, which obviously, cognitively, she was not an infant, and she wanted to be with her brother and with kids that were the same age as her. So we ended up finding a private preschool that would allow her to keep her and her brother together and figure out a way for it to be safe for her, even though she wasn't able to walk yet. And then it was just kind of up to us to bring her in and have her walk around, identify any spots that we might need a stool or a lower sink or whatever it was that we were gonna need that was gonna allow her to be independent. They were just so great about reaching out to us and saying, we don't know what to do, so let's all work together to figure out how we can make this the most convenient and most accommodating environment for her. We didn't want everything to be about the fact that she had been diagnosed with achondroplasia. Explaining achondroplasia to Raegan has kind of been something we really only address if she asks questions or if she makes a statement. So we talk about it sometimes, like she'll ask why she has to go to the doctor and her brother doesn't. And we talk to her and we say, well, remember, you have achondroplasia, so your bones don't grow as fast as your brother's. Early on, I don't even remember what doctor had told us, you can make Raegan's world fit her, or you can help Raegan fit the world. So there's so many different types of disabilities that it's unreasonable for us to expect that every bathroom is going to be able to accommodate a little person, an amputee, someone in a wheelchair. It's just not possible. So we try to provide an environment for her that allows her a little bit of both. So we have light switches that are lowered for her. Her closet is low enough that she can access all of her clothes, which is maybe not a great thing sometimes. And then we have a smaller toilet in the bathroom. So those were just 3 ways that we thought we want her to be able to get dressed on her own, go to the bathroom on her own, wash her hands on her own without needing help from us every time. And it's her space, it's her room. Thinking about Raegan's future in the beginning was scary. We didn't know what was she gonna be able to do? What was she not gonna be able to do? Were there gonna be any barriers to her success? But now that I see her, and honestly, if you meet her, I have no concerns. She is gonna figure out what she wants, and really our job, I think, as parents, and our job as parents of a child with achondroplasia are to get out of their way and help support them as they figure out their path in life. Sometimes advocating means you recognizing that you're not happy or that you're not confident and comfortable and finding someone else that makes you feel okay. You really are the expert in your child. You're the expert in what she's been doing, what they're doing, how they're acting at home, what seems abnormal. And I really had to be that person to keep track and to really tell the doctors, like, no, this might be normal for that kid, but it's not normal for my kid. Find your network. So the only people that know best about caring for a child with achondroplasia are the people that are doing it or have done it. Those resources and that network, whether it be your local LPA chapter or an online group, those are the people that are gonna be able to answer all your questions. And they're not gonna judge any question you have because we've all had those questions.